there, boils and ghouls. So, honestly, I had an idea for another video that I was going to do. It wasn't a movie review. It was a paranormal story time video where I was going to talk about ghosts that I had encountered. But honestly, it didn't feel right. So my idea of something else to do, because I got myself all pretty, we need to do something. My other idea was I found a Halloween tag, which I think works because it's October and spooky is my theme. So let's do it. Let's get spooky. Okay, we got the questions up on here. I haven't done a tag since my channel was new. So like a year ago. It's been a full year since I've done a tag. We need to do this. Okay, question 1. Favorite horror or Halloween themed song? I always have to listen to This Is Halloween, but specifically the Marilyn Manson cover. I also love the song Livin' Dead Girl by Rob Zombie. This year I've been really feeling I Put a Spell on You, but specifically the version from Hocus Pocus because I'm a nerd. Next question. Name something you wouldn't want to run into in a dark forest or in an abandoned building. I think the most horrifying thing to run into in either of those would just be like a person. I have encountered ghosts and stuff like that before, and the worst that they can do to you is like piggyback on you and affect the way that you think, which has happened to me before, which would have been the story that I was going to tell. But point is, as long as you protect yourself, and by protect yourself I mean very simply like protective symbols, sage, stuff like that. As long as you protect yourself, ghosts aren't that scary. People, on the other hand, are very scary. Like, they can do whatever they are capable of to you, and that terrifies me. I'd rather run into a demon than a human. Have you ever played with a Ouija board? No, I have done seances before. I've been practicing Wicca for about 3 years now. And recently, I've become very interested in necromancy, and I've done a couple of seances. I'd love to do more. As far as Ouija boards specifically go, I'm not super into the whole idea. I feel like Ouija boards are very commercial. Planchettes are just made out of plastic, and there's nothing, like there's very little positive energy, any energy that you can transfer into plastic. So I'd rather do a seance on my own. I'm not saying that Ouija boards aren't fun. I love the aesthetic. Ouija boards are beautiful. But have I ever played with one? No. I would. If you got me like a good planchette that could actually channel some energy, then sure, I'd play with a Ouija board, why not? Favorite horror monster or villain? Well, have you seen my channel? I'm a big fan of the classics, obviously, so probably Freddy Krueger. I'd probably go with Freddy Krueger. Chucky is way up there too, but he's less scary to me. Freddy Krueger actually has a couple of movies where he's really scary. Chucky, not so much. He's never really scared me. I do love him though. The creepiest thing that's ever happened while you were alone. As I said before, I've had a few ghostly encounters. They happen to me regularly. They don't even scare me, to be honest. I've told people my ghostly encounters, and their reaction is always like, what the fuck, weren't you terrified? Like, what is your life? And my response is always just, yeah, it was cool. Like, they didn't hurt me, so why would I be scared? I guess I'm gonna tell this story anyway. I did have one ghost that latched on to me. And this is the one that I was actually going to tell a story about, so coinky dink. I'll just do it in less detail than I was originally planning on doing. I had a ghost that latched on to me, and it hung on for I think it was a month. I didn't count time very well during this because it very strongly affected the way that I thought. It put a lot of really dark thoughts into my head. Not thoughts that were directed towards other people, but thoughts that were directed to myself, thoughts that had never occurred to me before this, like self-harm type thoughts that were very foreign to me. Things that I would never do in a million years, things that I would never think in a million years. But because this spirit latched onto me so strongly, and it wouldn't let go, that I couldn't make it stop. And I knew the thoughts weren't my own. Like every time that they crossed my head, I was like, this isn't me. I know it's not me, but I couldn't stop thinking it. And there was one night in particular where I literally lay in bed and for hours couldn't move, could not force myself to move. I was just lying there trapped by these thoughts that I knew 100% weren't mine. And it wasn't a creepy experience, but it was a horrifying experience to not have control over your body or over your mind. And eventually, because I couldn't make this stop, and I needed to make this stop because it was hurting me as a person, it was changing who I was. What I did was I did channel the spirit through a seance. I spoke to it. I asked for its name. It gave me its name. It said that its name was Angelique. And it said that it had latched onto me because it saw something in me that was very reminiscent to itself. And it was jealous of the fact that I could continue living and it couldn't. And specifically, this was a spirit that had killed itself in life. This was a spirit that had no hope, and its life ended in that way, with no hope. And it didn't like that I had hope and that I had an opportunity to continue living. And when I spoke to it, I felt its pain. And I could see how there were similarities between us. And so what I did was I told the spirit that I loved it and that I was very sorry that its life had ended this way, and I genuinely meant it in that moment. But I also told it that I needed to continue living, and its time was done. It was time for it to move on. And it did. And these thoughts have not occurred to me since the night that I communicated with this spirit. It's gone, and I can only hope that wherever she is, she's settled, she's hopefully happier, she's hopefully moved on, and maybe even, because I personally believe in reincarnation, so maybe she's on her next life. And I genuinely hope that that's so. Wow, this spooky Halloween tag got really deep all of a sudden. Really emotional. I didn't intend for that. Let's move on to the next question before we cry. If you were dared to spend the night in a haunted house, would you do it? Yes, 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 yes. You don't even have to dare me, I'll just do it. Are you superstitious? Do you see figures in your peripheral vision? All the time. Just constantly. For instance, the last time that I filmed, not this video, but I think it was my ritual video, I'll link to that somewhere on the screen. The whole time that I was filming, I could see a man in the corner of my eye, just right over there, just in that general direction, the whole time that I was filming. Which urban legend scares you the most? So, I don't know if any really scare me. I'm really intrigued by the story of the Bunny Man, and I don't really know why, because that's one of those ones that I'm 100% sure is not true. As far as ones that I think could be true, that really intrigue me, I love the story of the Mothman. I don't know, there's just something really creepy about it. Do you prefer gore or thrillers? Gore. I'd say thrillers because I feel like that's the intelligent answer. If you enjoy actually scary movies, then chances are you like thrillers, but I have a thing for really bad, like gory, B, not even B, but like cult classic horror things. Moving on. Do you believe in multiple dimensions or worlds? What is this question doing on a Halloween tag? I don't know if I believe in it, but I think it's interesting to explore anyway. It's a very interesting theory. I'm not gonna sit here and argue that it's true. I don't know nearly enough about it to say that. But I'm intrigued. I'd love to learn more about it, 100%. Like, sounds cool. Ever made a potion of any sort? Actually, no, which is a problem for a Wiccan. It's not actually a problem, I've never really explored that side of Wicca. I would be open to it, but haven't to this day. Do you get scared easily? No, I don't think so. I mean, I speak to ghosts on a regular basis and never get scared of that, so no. Weirdly enough, I feel like I got scared more regularly back before I saw ghosts. Because back before I saw ghosts, I'd like get up in the middle of the night and go to get a glass of water like everyone does, and I'd be like, holy fuck, there's something in the darkness watching me, and just panic, like just I have to run back to my room with my glass of water as quickly as possible. But now that I speak to ghosts, like I'm just getting my glass of water and I'm like, yeah, there's totally something in the darkness, like who cares? What's it gonna do? Have you ever played Bloody Mary? Yes, a lot when I was a kid. Actually, when I was like, I don't even know how old I was, like I went to the bathroom and I must have been like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, around that. And a group of grade 5 girls locked us in the bathroom and turned out the lights and chanted Bloody Mary. And me and my friends were absolutely horrified and never went to the bathroom again because I don't believe in Bloody Mary anymore. Do you believe in demons / the devil? No, actually. On both counts, I don't believe in either. I'm not Christian, as has already been established. I am Wiccan. Wiccans don't tend to accept the idea of the devil. I know that there's this idea that Wiccans are Satan worshippers, but generally speaking, and there are exceptions to this, but most Wiccans don't believe in the devil. I'm among those. I don't even believe in the idea of pure evil, which is where I take issue with the whole demons thing. I believe that even spirits that are harmful towards you, and there are most certainly spirits that are, and I believe in negative energy and all of that kind of stuff. But I believe that it's all subjective, and what is negative to one person could be beneficial to another. And I also believe that spirits like, say, Angelique, who I mentioned earlier, the spirit that latched onto me and turned my thoughts very negative and self-harmy and really bad, I don't believe she was evil. I believe she was a very hurt, very sad individual that couldn't get over herself, couldn't get over the fact that she had been hurt, and she wanted to cause pain like it had been caused to her. I don't believe that's evil. I believe that it's negative. I believe that it needs to be banished. But I don't believe that's evil, and I don't believe that she was a demon or anything like that. Even if she hurt me and she took away my control over my body and my mind, she still wasn't evil, if that makes any sense. So no, I don't believe in demons or the devil. I have a very hard time grasping onto this idea of pure, absolute evil. You're home alone, but you hear footsteps in your house. What do you do? I'd investigate. I'd definitely investigate. Like, it could either be ghosts, and if it is, then cool. Just an average Tuesday. Or it could be an intruder, in which case I am calling the cops very quickly. Do not fuck around with that. If you get trapped in one scary movie, which would you choose? Oh, interesting question. Scream. I choose Scream because I think it would be really cool to be friends with Sidney Prescott. No. You know the horror movie I'd get trapped in? The Craft. Yes, 100%. Because I'd love to be like that kind of witch. I'm already a witch, but I'd love to be the kind of witch that actually makes like things happen with your mind that easily. Like, it's so difficult being a witch in real life. Like, you gotta You gotta concentrate a whole lot. Like, I'd love to be a horror movie witch where you can just make, like, I can just look at that lamp right now and be like, come here. And then it would just fly into my hand and it would be so useful. So that's a reason why I'd want to live in the craft. But also, I would love to date Feruza Balk. Plus, I feel like my chances of surviving the craft are much higher than most of the other horror movies that I watch. If you could only wear one Halloween costume for the rest of your life, what would you be? I don't want to only wear one costume for the rest of my life. Can I still wear costumes for modeling and for videos and just life? Or is it just one costume forever? Because if that's it, then I have concerns. Okay, I've got to answer the question. Well, I would say witch, but I'm a witch, so does that count as a costume? Vampire. Anything super gothy, really. Would you ever go to a graveyard at night? Yes. Yes, I would. Actually, I've been meaning to do that for pretty much my whole life. In a zombie apocalypse, what is your weapon of choice? Something far range that I wouldn't have to get really up close to the zombies with? Probably a crossbow. Would you rather go to a Halloween party or go trick-or-treating? Trick-or-treating was fun when I was a kid, and I was one of those kids that did it like right up until I was way too old to do it. But now I can get candy from not being outside all day or all night. And plus, if you actually go to a party and there's a heater in the house, then you can dress up as whatever you want and you don't have to worry about the cold. Like, I live in Canada, so that definitely affects my answer to this. You're in a horror movie. Are you the final girl, the first to die, the comic relief, the skeptic, the smart one, or the killer? Realistically, I could never hurt anybody, so as much as I want to sit here and be like, I'd be the killer, then realistically, I don't think I could be. Sorry. Final girl and the smart one. I think that those are the same ones, aren't they? I wouldn't be the comic relief because I'm not funny. I wouldn't be the skeptic because I believe that I see ghosts every day, so does that mean, okay, either the final girl or the first to die? Well, according to horror movie rules, the fact that I'm wearing this would probably mean that I'd be the first to die. No, I feel like my stereotype would be more like Nancy from The Craft. Like, I'm more like the crazy girl that's, like, if we're talking stereotypes here, and most horror movies run by stereotypes, I'd probably be Nancy from The Craft. Like, I'd be the crazy girl that snapped and started killing everyone. I feel like that's where I'd get typecasted, even if it's not actually me. But yeah, I feel like most horror movies would cast me as the killer. Do you have to watch something happy after watching a horror movie so you can go to sleep? No. If a horror movie scares me at this point, then what I tend to do is I'll just rewatch it, sometimes on a loop, like sometimes I'll watch it the same night. I'll just keep watching it until it starts becoming funny to me. I like it when a movie scares me because it's so rare that movies actually scare me. But at the same time, I don't seem to like it when movies scare me because I like to kill the horror as quickly as humanly possible. Whilst watching scary movies, are you the person who yells at the characters? The person with their eyes covered the whole time? Or the person who falls asleep? If I'm watching a gory horror movie, then I'm the person that's way too into it. If it's more of like a psychological thriller, I'm the one that gets stressed easily. Are you the one who gets scared, or the one who does the scaring? Not the above, really. I don't get scared very easily, but I also don't go out of my way to scare people either. I don't know, I'm a very sweet person. I've got a very sweet demeanor, and I'm usually like quiet and I'm cute, okay? Like, I guess that some of the things that I say can sound scary. Like, when I sit here and I'm like, dude, there's totally a ghost in that corner. But I'm not doing it intentionally to scare people. It's because there's legitimately a ghost in that corner. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's how it is. Favorite scary book? Frankenstein, Picture of Dorian Gray, Carmilla, Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. Does Interview with a Vampire count as a scary book? How old were you when you saw your first horror movie? I was like fresh out the womb. My mom was a big horror movie fan. Her only rule was that she had to watch them first before I did, so that she could make sure that they were appropriate, which I'm not convinced she did most of the time, because I watched some movies that were not appropriate. What was your first Halloween costume? I think I was a witch. Like, I'm not just making that up because I'm a witch now. I mean, I legitimately think that my first Halloween costume, or at least the first one that I can remember, I was a witch. What are you going to be for Halloween this year? I really want to go as Betty Boop because of my hair, but at the same time I feel like Betty Boop isn't enough. So I was considering like zombie Betty Boop. Last question. If you could have a spooky Halloween pet, black cat, owl, bat, rat, wolf, what would you pick? I already have rats. Rats are pretty cool. I have a whole video explaining what it's like to have pet rats, so if you wanna check that out, I'll put the link in somewhere around here. I love cats, so I'm thinking that after Tolkien and Lewis unfortunately pass away, which hopefully won't be for a very long time because they are my sons and I love them, but I'm thinking that after they pass away, I might get a black cat because I've been wanting a black cat forever and I can't have one while I have Tolkien and Lewis because there is that natural instinctual fear that they have of cats, which kind of makes me sad because I love cats. Like, cats are so great. There we go, that's the tag. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more spooky content. I upload videos once or twice a week, depending on how bad my depression is that week. Like this video if you had fun with me. Leave a comment down below. And on that note, I will see you guys next time. Love you! Love you.